You ready to talk about the goat in the room?
Let's rewind.
Scapegoat in the room, I guess.
A name we hadn't heard mentioned on air in some time. His name we did hear. The name we didn't hear was the other person involved in the altercation. And yes, as the world knows by now, and that we surmised going in, is that Tony did go there. He did show the footage. The footage, I mean, I can't say that I wasn't interested in seeing it. It's just the wrestling fan in me, the voyeuristic, like,
Sure.
What's really going on, what really happened. You want to see it, you see it, and there's not a ton to it.
There's not.
I mean, there were some things that were pretty clear, is that Perry was standing by himself. Punk inserts himself into the situation.
Right up on him, right in his face.
And the first physical part of their shoving match was
Punk. Perry defended himself.
And it was pretty clear that if that's what Tony wants to show.
Right. I'm assuming that's it. I need to go back and watch the Helani interview now and see Punk's telling of that.
Yeah.
To see if that syncs up, or if there was if Tony perceives this as some sort of gotcha moment where he can say, see?
I think he would almost have to for him to go there.
Yeah.
But I'd like to talk a little bit about the way that he went about presenting this footage.
Sure.
Because he did so through the mouths of his primary heels playing the executive VP roles, the arrogant executive VP roles. And they were using that as an excuse for why they were distracted and lost later on that night.
Absolutely. At their largest, most important show, they didn't have time to process or anything because they had their EVP hats on, not the wrestling hats. I really do like the way, from a heel, look at this from the heel babyface perspective, right? I really like the way they wrap this around this heel mentality of, we're going to show this because this is important to us, and hey, we're going to give you context. And the context is, this is the reason why we lost our match. It becomes this selfish heel thing. But I think, and maybe this is where you're going, does that make sense to have your heels try and make a point for your company? It's not like Adam Copeland going out there last week and saying, hey, this tribalism has got to stop. Wrestling is good.
If your point, Tony Khan, is to say my version of the story contradicts everything that Punk was saying, and I'm going to show that Punk's a liar, you do so through the mouthpiece of a face, because doing it through the mouthpiece of using your heels, and I doubt this is going to be on air on Dynamite, but it should be noted, in the live audience, there was a loud and CM Punk chant.
Yes.
So, do you want your arrogant, snotty heels saying true things about this guy is selfish, went into business for himself, threatened one of the biggest shows we've ever done, all true statements?
Right.
Would that not be better coming from, Edge? Or I know Edge wasn't there at the time.
Bryan Danielson was on the, Daniel Bryan, there was on the disciplinary board that made the decision.
Somebody that was a little more sympathetic, that, I don't think that what Tony wants is a CM Punk chant after showing the footage. That's exactly what he gets, because
you have to expect that, because there's still a huge faction out there of folks who really love CM Punk regardless of what he does or how he does it. But so there's how many people are chanting CM Punk because they don't like the Bucks? These heel Bucks.
Yeah.
So that's what you're supposed to do. This is the opposition. You're showing us something that you're against this guy. So,
and then you have to
program this to you're against this guy, so we're going to be for him.
Then you have to wonder what the point is, if he's trying to show that AEW is the good guys and this, and that Punk's a liar. That presentation is all kinds of mixed up, really.
All kinds of mixed up. Or is they're trying to go for something like really meta kind of a thing, where it's like, look, our lying heels are pointing out the lying heel. We're telling you when he's telling lies, kind of thing. Yeah, I don't.
But then your face FTR is out there basically talking about how we need to move on. Let's get over this nonsense. When the smart fan knows it's Tony Khan who's making sure that nonsense is presented as a drawing point for his Dynamite program.
Right.
Tony gets a little confused on the heel face side of things, and sometimes I think he just forges ahead without properly thinking about how the context of the overall show goes.
JPW, we cover too. We love wrestling just like you do.